So the Kansas City Chiefs just made a move that had fans arguing all day. Some people think it's a terrible decision, others think it's totally fine. Personally, I think it makes sense, and I also think another move could be coming soon that would spark even more debate. In today's video we're going to talk about the Chiefs' newest signing, a possible surprising reunion on the offensive line, why the offense might not have been the team's biggest problem last season, and my favorite wide receiver option for the Chiefs in round 1 of the draft. But first, let's start with the latest roster move. Chiefs sign linebacker Jack Cochran. The Chiefs signed linebacker Jack Cochran today, and fans on social media immediately started debating whether it was a good move. Some people were even confused when the news broke because it felt like he was already on the team. That's because recently the Chiefs also signed linebacker Cole Christensen, another player primarily known for his work on special teams. But Cochran is on another level when it comes to special teams usage. Since 2022, he's played more special team snaps than almost anyone on the roster, averaging roughly 300 per season. That makes him one of special teams coordinator Dave Taub's most trusted players. Defensively, he's basically an emergency option. For example, in 2025 he played only 61 defensive snaps, and half of those came after the Chiefs were already eliminated from playoff contention. Why some fans are upset? The biggest concern from fans is penalties. Last season, Cochran had the second most special teams penalties on the roster, behind cornerback Joshua Williams. Those penalties were frustrating because the Chiefs already struggled in that department. In fact, the team finished top 10 in special teams penalties, which often hurt their starting field position on offense. At times, the Chiefs had one of the worst average starting field positions in the league. So fans understandably want improvement there. But at the end of the day, this is a cheap one-year deal while the team builds its 90-man off-season roster. And because of his heavy special teams role, there's a real chance Cochran makes the final 53-man roster. Players like linebacker 5, wide receiver 6, or safety 4 usually earn their spot because they contribute heavily on special teams. Could Jawaan Taylor return? Now here's where things get interesting. What would you think about Jawaan Taylor returning to Kansas City on a much cheaper deal? I know some fans will immediately hate that idea. And to be fair, keeping him at his previous $26 million cap hit would have been insane. That's why the Chiefs released him and saved about $20 million. But now that he's a free agent, his price could drop significantly. If Taylor returned on something like a one-year deal around $4 million, similar to what Rashid Walker recently signed for, would you consider it? I honestly would. Yes, the penalties are frustrating. He's definitely a flag magnet at times. But he's still a better pass-protecting right tackle than the current option, Jalen Moore. Bringing him back would also improve offensive line depth and might prevent the Chiefs from reaching for a tackle early in the draft. Was the offense really the problem? I've also seen a lot of comments saying the Chiefs must draft offense early because the offense was the real problem last season. But that argument ignores one huge factor. When Patrick Mahomes suffered his ACL injury late in the season, the offense collapsed statistically. That stretch dramatically worsened the team's overall offensive metrics. Before the injury, the offense was actually doing something very important: sustaining long drives. The Chiefs were among the league leaders in 10-plus play drives, which controlled time of possession and kept the defense off the field. So while the offense wasn't perfect, the defense had its own major issues. The real problem: pass rush. The biggest defensive issue was the pass rush. Defensive tackle Chris Jones was still dominant, leading defensive tackles in quick pass rush wins. But outside of him, the numbers weren't great. George Karlaftis is a solid defensive end, but he wasn't among the league leaders in pass rush win rate. And other players struggled even more. Charles Omenihu ranked near the bottom of qualifying edge rushers. Mike Danna also ranked very low. Because the Chiefs couldn't consistently pressure quarterbacks with 4 rushers, defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo had to blitz heavily. That contributed to the Chiefs being one of the worst third-down defenses in the league. So improving the pass rush could have a domino effect on the entire defense. Chiefs round 1 receiver options. If the Chiefs go offense in round 1, there are a few intriguing wide receiver options. Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate might be my favorite. He's an outside receiver with elite contested catchability, converting over 80% of contested catches in college. Even more impressive, he had 0 drops last season. That kind of reliability would be huge for Mahomes. My Limone is more of a slot receiver. He's about 5 feet 11 inches, 190 pounds, similar in build to Tyreek Hill. He excels at beating man coverage and finding soft spots in zone. With Travis Kelce possibly entering his final NFL season, Limon could eventually